and it is going on. You know,
and who is shooting? Who is shooting at the protesters?
The shooting at the protesters, the army people and the Libyans. A lot of people said that we have some foreign people coming in. No, they're predominantly Libyans and 100% Libyans, and from the Benghazi area, not even from the outside area. And this is what makes it even worse.
So you haven't seen. The people doing this so what you're saying is that the Libyans are the ones that are shooting at the protesters. You haven't seen any foreign mercenaries shooting at protesters, because we've gotten reports of foreign mercenaries on the streets of Benghazi.
Yes, we've heard it around. At least not yet in the streets of Benghazi. We haven't around the Beida area, which is about 200 kilometers east of Benghazi. Definitely, there were foreign people coming in, and also, and we heard now in Tripoli, not in Benghazi, not yet. But you know, the army is loaded, and it's bringing more loads. And we have the police barricade, which is about 5 kilometers south of the army barricade, and this is surrounded by amazing army equipment. And it's really, I don't know how far this is going to go on.
Ahmad, as you're talking to us on Al Jazeera, let me just interrupt you, because we were looking at pictures just a moment ago of the situation in Al-Baida, which is a town that Ahmad was just referring to. It's northeast of Benghazi, looking at the demonstrators there. But Ahmad, to go back to the situation this evening in Benghazi, we had also heard reports that snipers were firing at protesters from some of the buildings and the compounds. Did you see any of that?
Yes, we do. With the snipers all over the place, and even the gunshot wounds. If you could look at them, mainly on the head and the neck and the upper body, and really professional snipers go killing people and shooting people. And what Dr. Mariam said about the medical supply, the hospitals are completely running out of medical supply, and also running out of blood donations. And really, the situation, you guys have to do something about it and help us with. It is really come down to, you know, it's a big massacre going on, and bloodshed going around here.
What are people saying, the protesters, the demonstrators? What are their demands right now? What are they asking for?
What they're asking for is to change now. Maybe they were peacefully demanding, you know, for improvement of their life situation, but now it's even worse because people are getting killed, and now they're asking for everything to be turned around. So we don't want this anymore. That's it. If our own people are killing us, we don't want them. This is what they're demanding.
Okay. Ahmad, updating us there from on the situation rather in Benghazi in Libya. Thank you for talking to Al Jazeera. Okay, well, most of the pictures coming to us from inside Libya have been uploaded to websites, and they're difficult to independently verify. But Al Jazeera has obtained video from the eastern city of Baida, which we've already been showing you. We just showed you a few moments ago. Ahmad Al-Saleh has more details.
Thousands gather near Al-Baida main mosque in northeastern Libya, a city rocked by days of anti-Gaddafi protests and a scene of death and violent clashes. Chanting, "There is no God but Allah," mourners carry in a coffin a dead protester. And this is what they faced. 50mm caliber bullet cases scattered on this field. Not far away, a security building seems to be set on fire, falling into the hands of angry residents. Some are arming themselves. This man walking away with a helmet and what appears to be an artillery round. In other parts of Al-Baida, the scene is similar. More chaos and the sound of live fire echoing. Anti-Gaddafi graffiti sprayed on walls and a voice through a loudspeaker saying, "There is no state here." Reports of casualties running high and constantly rising. The city's hospital seems overwhelmed. In the morgue, the unlucky ones are waiting to be buried, and more are still coming. In Benghazi, this video, which we cannot independently verify, claims to show what protesters believe is an African mercenary hired by the Libyan regime to attack demonstrators.
هذا اللي مستعين بيهم على شوف الضربه كيف كانت
But on Libyan state television, a different picture. No mention of anti-government protests. Instead, supporters of the Libyan leader brought out onto the streets of the capital, Tripoli. Information from Libya is hard to get, with communications and the internet have been disrupted. But what's almost certain, Libya is expecting more unrest in the days to come. Omar Saleh, AlJazeera.
Well, my colleague Stephen Cole spoke to Awab Hassan. He's a Libyan-American who lives in Tripoli, and he confirmed that protests are now taking place in the capital too.
As of right now, even so, we are driving through an area in Tripoli, and it appears that there's one going on right now. There's police blockading the street in full riot gear and regular, and people are being told to turn around. They're letting only pro-Gaddafi people through to go ahead and try and sway the people, but it seems that there's actually a protest going on as I speak.
Well, that's the first we've heard of any demonstration in Tripoli. We know there's been a lot of protests in the east of the country, but Tripoli obviously the key. And if there are demonstrations in Tripoli, then that's extremely or more serious for the leadership.
Precisely. A few days ago, actually, one or two, we came across another one in the area of Feshlum, district of Tripoli, and we were there on scene when it started. People were protesting peacefully, and several people were detained and arrested. They were told that, the crowd was told that people would be let go if the crowd disperses. They allowed pro-regime people to drive through and chant. In the meantime, you had people, young children of the area of Feshlum, flipping off and yelling obscenities to the pro-regime people passing through.
Let me just tell you a little bit about the Libyan economy. Now, it's improved since sanctions were lifted in 2003, but few of its people are sharing the wealth. Libya has the largest oil reserves in Africa, and at the last official count in 2009, it produced 1.8 million barrels of oil a day. And at today's price, that's worth around $154 million every single day. Yet two-thirds of Libyans live on less than $2 per day. Recent leaked memos from U.S. diplomats suggest that Muammar Gaddafi's regime intentionally neglects the eastern part of the country, and that's to weaken the opposition. Well, Libyan government newspaper editor he's told AlJazeera that the protesters will fail in bringing down the government, and the situation in Libya can't be compared to that of Egypt.
I'm sure that the Libyan House will sit together and these matters will be determined in the coming hours. All attempts to gamble with the security and future of this country will be doomed to failure. There are those with hidden agendas, those who are spiteful and envious. We are not Tunisia or Egypt. We, the Libyan people, are completely different. That is not to belittle other peoples, but we have our own means. Yes, there are many demands. The position is clear with the executive establishment in Libya. Saif al-Islam has a reformist approach. The leader has been urgent for dealing with many matters which you are all aware of.
In other news, in Bahrain, thousands of people have returned